Alright, how's it going, y'all? Today we are going to be playing a deck that is pretty much always good in mono white aggro. Trying to get into Mythic here. We're just two best of 3 wins away, so going for something reliable. This version's got all the normal stuff with Luminarch Aspirant, Seasoned Hallowblade, Selfless Savior, Alcide, Skyclave Apparition that we've been seeing in mono white for a while. Also got Redain to slow down opponents casting big spells and snowlands. The flip side, also good against small creatures' aggressive decks. Elite Spellbinder, good at slowing your opponent down. Draenith Magistrate still hits most of the field between Foretold cards, Adventure cards, and Sultai Ultimatum. Everyone's got at least some of those. Or casting from the graveyard, Exile, anything like that. Just one Maul of the Skyclaves, because you don't usually want to ever have 2 in your hand, then you're not being aggressive enough, because they'll kill the creature that you put 2 Sky Mauls on, and then you're in a real bad spot. Giant Killer hits most decks nowadays. Everyone's got at least some creatures, and I found it that Usher of the Fallen, which I had in this spot, often didn't do anything after turn 2, so we're trying out Giant Killer instead. Some Professors in Symbology as another 2-drop with reasonable aggressive stats that can get us a lesson from the sideboard. We have Academic Probation, Spirit Summoning, and Expanded Anatomy. Pretty normal picks there. Academic Probation stops your opponent from sweeping your board or using Sultai Ultimatum, or can stop their blocker. Spirit Summoning is a body. Expanded Anatomy builds up one of your bodies. Pretty normal aggro stuff. Also one Sparring Regimen to go with that learn mechanic as well, which is another way to keep growing your creatures every turn, because there's only so many Luminarch Aspirants, and the untapping is also pretty good in creature matchups. That is about the deck. We have Legion Angel, just a 1-of, because it's a good top end 4/3 with flying that gets more 4/3s with flying. Pretty nice. Also in the sideboard, we've got the 4th Giant Killer, Shadow Spear for some life gain, and Trample. Not usually relevant there, but occasionally Archon of Emeria to shut down any sort of control strategy. Also turns off Emergent Ultimatum, because those are their 2nd and 3rd spells, so they can't cast them. Glass Casket, mostly for mono red and rogues. Archon for the Mirror. We don't expect to run into the Mirror enough to run a Scalding Cauldron to kill their Archons, but it's still worth running this one because it's so good. We have the Legion Angels, of course, and a couple Luris, because he's very strong in grindy matchups. Also in the mana base, we were running just 23 lands. I don't think 24 is quite necessary here. You're usually good on 3. And 4 Faceless Havens, so we're running all snow-covered lands. Faceless Haven is fantastic for being a resilient aggro deck nowadays. That is the deck. Let's go try it out. On the play, good start. This hand will need to draw a land, but looks good so far. Looks like it will be Sultai and not any other kind. Luminarch Aspirant gets better the longer it's on the board, so we'll start there. Put the counter on the creature that can attack this turn. Alright, very nice. We find our land, which means we can play a dog and another Aspirant to keep the counters coming. Yeah, thanks. It's quite a hand. Attack for 5. Cultivate. If we find an untapped land, I think Haven is lethal. Otherwise, we hold back for the incoming Shadows Verdict. Might find something with the professor. But let's make sure these don't die to Heartless Act. That would have been exactly lethal with the Haven. This gets us another card, so we might as well play it. No need to waste our mana here. Do we take the body or the probation? Let's get probation. It's pretty good against them, since it's rather predictable what they'll try to cast once they get to 7 mana. And they don't have Shadow's Verdict, so we're good. So against Sultai we bring in the Archon of Emeria, and that's pretty much it. Also the Giant Killer is pretty good against them. They'll have Gargaroths and Pelucranos and whatnot, and Yorion. So coming out is probably Sparring Regimen. It's a little slow, and untapping our creatures isn't fantastic against them. And the other cut, we can probably take out a Skyclave Apparition. Most of their stuff is bigger than that, or already does its thing when it gets on the board. Yeah, that's what I cut before, and I think it went alright. We'll try that. Alright, we've got a nice curve, good amount of lands. Have a Faceless Haven, always nice. And we've got a Magistrate to shut down their ultimatum. Okay, they pass, which probably means our Luminarch Aspirant is going to die here, but I don't think we can not make that play because of that. They kill it before I get to use the counter, sure. They do nothing, huh? Alright, in that case... no land on 3 from Sultai feels really bad. They had 2 Heartless Acts, which I suppose is why they kept the hand. Okay, I think we want to play a dog here, just to stop their destroy-y nonsense. Because if we power up Haven and they have a 3rd Heartless Act, we're not having fun. I don't see any reason to play the Magistrate just yet, or the Skyclave Apparition. They'll have their moment. Yorion, sure. Ooh, Redain's a good one. Especially with the dog on board. Put a counter on it anyway, just in case they remove the dog and have Heartless Act. Cultivator. That's what we saved our Skyclave app for. Let's see. Fortunately, we can't Skyclave app and power up Haven and attack here. Is Skyclave Apparition the correct play? Yeah, because then it blocks either the Aspirant or the Haven. Let's just do it here. They could have Shadow's Verdict here, so I don't really want to play out the Magistrate just yet. Though I suppose if they spend their whole turn on that, it doesn't matter, because we just win by Haven because they're at 4. So, alright. Hand open. What do you got, opponent? they do get their token from the Skyclave app. Sure. But now we have 2 4-power creatures, so it doesn't matter. And good game. 1 down. 1 to go. Right, on the draw against Yorion again. This hand looks fine. Looks like it will be Sultai. Spellbinder is a good card to have in this situation. Alright, Valky probably has to take the apparition. Nope, they're fine with me just playing the Spellbinder 1 turn later. Works for me. Another one, not bad. I'll gladly trade here. Plus, their life total matters a lot more than mine does. Since we've got Spellbinders lined up, Academic Probation is definitely the take here. Yorion. Alright. Let's attack first. If they give us the Spellbinder back, we'll cast that one. Gives away less information about our hands. We're not going to Extinction Event here unless we Apparition. So I guess Spellbinder is the play. Because if we Apparition, then that gives them the opportunity to sweep. Take away the binding, ultimatum's a ways off, and we can delay it further with probation. Okay. We could just go for the Faceless Haven here. That's better if they do draw a sweeper. Or we could get our Spellbinder back. Let's see, Haven here is 10 damage, which does threaten lethal next turn through Yorion. If they just play Yorion next turn, we can giant kill it, so I think I will go for that play. The only thing that punishes that is if the draw they had was spot removal, and then they kill the Faceless Haven. They can trade the Spellbinder for it. That's true, but then we get the Spellbinder back, and we're still in a good position. Defensive Yorion will take a chomp down, and we get to play our dog. Very nice. The dog protects our 3/1 from the binding, which is face up. That'll be game 1. Against Sultai, Archon comes in, Giant Killer comes in, Sparring Regimen comes out, as does an Apparition. His hand is fine. Hold the Giant Killer for now. They'll probably give us something to hit with it eventually. Is it Omen or is it spot removal? Looks like spot removal. That's fine. Trading a card for a 1-drop is not usually what they want to be doing. Paying 3 to cultivate is definitely not what they want to be doing. We are in significant danger if they have sweepers, but we do have Faceless Haven to follow up. So I think it's fine to put out the second Hollow Blade here. Need to put a bit more pressure on than just the one. Will it be Extinction Event? No, it will not. Alright. That's pretty good for us. They could still have spot removal. I don't think I want to risk the Haven just yet. We can try and put some counters on with the Aspirant. We'll save the Haven to follow up after a sweeper. I can drop off probably the Apparition. They're not going to play any permanents below 4 CMC, probably, or they would have played it there. Now we're in a real bad spot against Extinction Event, but if they held it against 2 Hollow Blades, that's very greedy. If they just have Epiphany into Ultimatum here, there's nothing we can do. Binding. Alright, it's not an ultimatum. The Orion's a problem, though. I think we go for the Haven. We can trade cards in our hand that aren't doing much for to keep our Hollow Blades on board. Alright, opponent's down to 6. If their play is Yorion Binding, do nothing. We've got him. Yep, if they put the Omen out, then it's almost certainly just Yorion do nothing here. And we discard 1 Giant Killer. Yep, and use the other one to kill Yorion. Then we're fine unless they have some 1-mana way to stop our Hollow Blades from attacking, which doesn't seem likely. Haven't seen a Sultai deck yet running Unsummon or anything like that. Die. 7 is greater than 6. Good game. Another Sultai gamer down. Alright, 1 to go, take 2. This hand isn't great, but it's alright. We have a turn 1 play and a turn 3 play, and enough lands to get there. Alright, that's not what we wanted. Verdane also not very good against most decks that run Lovestruck Beast. Green-black, huh? Innkeeper is a problem. Drawing another plains is definitely a problem. I think I want to get a flyer down just so we have something that can attack here. Don't want to trade a savior for a 1/1 token. Most green-black Adventures lists run Henge, so Verdane will help against that at least. Alright, finally a non-plains card. That is a hand, isn't it? So they've been blue this whole time. There are ways from having double blue for Alrund. Not too afraid of the Raven. We can trade a dog for it. Let's just get rid of the Borrower for now. We're just going to keep hitting them in the air and try and find apparitions to stop them on the ground. Is the plan. Will I trade both dogs for a Lovestruck Beast? I don't think so. We're winning the race so far. Not the card I want, but it is not a plains, so I will take it. Seed can stop them from doing borrower shenanigans. I found double blue for Alrund. Doesn't have trample though. We do have blockers for a while. Don't think we have to burn them quite yet though. Yep. Alrund's a greedy card, so they take the greedy play. Shovel's an interesting one. Alright, we're back to drawing plains. That's not it. Our opponent's got 2 turns to do something about our flyers. Here we will give up a dog. With no trample, we're not too concerned. Find another creature that shouldn't matter. We find another chump blocker, probably. Or another blank one of their removal spells. Or can push through a blocker if they do find one. So it's not a terrible draw here. Actually, it's pretty good. I still have this one. Now they don't have the flyer to play as a blocker. We can hold this land to bluff. Alright, good thinking, putting it on the dog there. Now if we sacrifice the dog, they gain 3 life, is it? Yeah. So given that, the obvious play is to block here and sack the LC to protect Redain. Which we will do. Our opponent doesn't have anything at instant speed. Do they have anything to gain life or block a flyer? Lucranos can fight the Spellbinder, so we're not quite dead. Or our opponent's not quite dead, that is. Keeper. Alright, they're holding up the Lucranos to do it instant speed. No creatures. My turn. Alright. So if I Skyclave out the Pelucranos, they'll just fight in response. And then we attack for 2 with Redain. Same goes if I Skyclave out the Shovel, they'll fight in response, so we don't gain, or so they'll still gain the life if I use the dog. I think they're more likely to make a mistake if I Skyclave out the Shovel, so I'm going to go for that. They might just do it before Skyclave app resolves. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see, they go to 1 either way. Are we better off having the dog on board? I think so. I think we're better off having the dog than the Spellbinder here. And now they still have to solve Redain. Or kill us here. Another Shovel. That's a pain. Okay, well, if they're gonna fight this anyway, might as well protect here. Sky Maul will save us, but otherwise I believe we're dead. Though they do have another fight remaining with the Pelucranos. means we probably should have let it fight the dog. Though if they're going to attack here, we can block it with the apparition, so it's not big enough to kill Redain. So otherwise they could have fought the Redain next turn and killed it, and then we wouldn't have any chance, even if we did find the Sky Maul. That is not it. And we are dead on board, so next game. What do we do here? They play a lot of things that Giant Killer hits, so we'll take that. They play creatures that Casket doesn't hit, so I don't think that's it. Do I bother with Luris? Magistrate's good against adventure creatures. Flyers are good in general because they don't have many flyers. Hollowblade doesn't attack into Lovestruck Beast, so that's not great. So yeah, let's cut some Hollowblades and bring in Luris, I think, against this weirdo deck. Shadow Spear, no, we're not going over the top of them. We'll just call that good. Hand's fine. Not fantastic, but we'll take it. We save the Magistrate for once they've put something in the Adventure Zone. Let's just use the Professor here. And more bodies, bigger bodies. Putting these counters on a Redain seems pretty good, so we'll take that. Attack into Shovel here, so it's just play Redain, say go. We didn't see any actual removal out of them, except for Pelucranos, which is interesting. Put it on the dog here, I might sack it in response. Stops them attacking or trying to remove Redain this turn. And of course we don't want them gaining the life in the cards. Mammoth, huh? Find a land. So I think we Alseed and Anatomy onto Redain here. I think that's better than playing the shield. Start putting them on a significant clock. The eliminate, which is rough. Got 2-for-1s there after not seeing any spot removal. I really hate this shovel. I'm going to let them have the mammoth. Even though they probably have a henge here. Yeah, we lose. On the play against Gigantha this time. This hand is alright as long as we find a land by turn 3. Play out our 1-drop. I don't think holding it is too valuable here. And we find the land. Very nice. Yeah, that's getting apparitioned. That thing makes altogether too many blockers. Okay, they have their own spellbinder. That's fine. Don't see any reason to play out this land yet. We can hold it to discard to the Hallowblade. And I think size matters here. Probably don't have a way to deal with the Hallowblade. I don't want to give them the token from the apparition though, so not attacking with that. Now they have the Aggro Noir. Yeah, smart to take the untapped creature. We can tap it down with the Giant Killer though, which I believe will be the play here, because that allows us to attack for 5. Do we bother with the Magistrate? I don't think so. It does stop them from playing both halves of an adventure creature, and I guess it doesn't die to the Aggro Noir. But that means we'd have to discard the Expanded Anatomy if they kill the Hallowblade. Well, let's go for it. Shutting down adventure creatures should be important. Yep. Yeah, there's a 5/5. Which means they'll be able to kill our Magistrate if we want to get our apparition back. Unless we expanded Anatomy and put the counter on the Magistrate, then it will survive. Or no, we don't have enough mana to do that and tap down the apparition. So I think it's the Luminarch Aspirant. Tap this down, and then I think we're just going all in on the Hallowblade. It takes 7 here. It's a bold move. But okay. got some work to do with only 2 cards in hand. Yeah. I don't think taking 7 was the play there. Although the Magistrate does shut down a lot of their cards. So what are we doing here? Giant Killer did work. I think we take that. Glass gets pretty good here. We didn't see anything that can kill a Glass Casket. Spellbinder's not great against Clarion Spirit specifically. They have a lot of ways to block it. And Redain's not very good. Let's get rid of the rest of the Redains, actually, and bring in the last Casket and a Luris, I believe. No, not Companion. No. Redain does stop the Aggro War and Showdown of the Skalds, but I don't think that justifies playing Redain over Spellbinder. Though we're on the draw, maybe Redain's better than Spellbinder, because it's got a more defensive body and does largely the same thing. Vigilance could also be important here. Yeah, we'll go with that. This hand is good. Our opponent's hand is also good. Well, we don't really care about a Magistrate. We just have the 1 Luris, otherwise it doesn't really affect us at all. Unless they have their, that thing, yes. That is the combo to take a card out of the game for good. But they're not dealing with the Luminarch Aspirant. Redain's pretty good. It stops us from getting a Crow and Ward again. So I think we'll go for that. Yeah, that's better than LC do nothing. And we'll put the counter on Redain. Flyers are good. But they didn't get rid of the Aspirant, so we're still doing okay. Now we can start attacking with this. We'll hold the Giant Killer. I think it's better off killing a Lovestruck Beast or something. Alright, they want to use the Sentinel for mana for some reason. Having the Giant Killer is pretty good, but it's bad if we don't use this and then don't have anything to do next turn. That is another card that we can't play because of the Magistrate, but Hallowblade's an okay draw. It doesn't attack very well through all the 1/1s, but it is a body on the board, so we'll take it. Here's the Aggro War. We'll definitely stop them from taking our Aspirant here. With the dog and the Hallowblade, we can stop ourselves from losing all the creatures to the Aggro War. not going to be terribly helpful here. Nothing too threatening from the opponent so far. We are on a 3-turn clock from that Spellbinder, though. Oh no, they'll be able to kill the dog, so we won't be able to save the Aspirant. For 7 here, not 8. Then we can hit them back for 8. Worth this last plains to stop the 1 damage? I don't think so, but I don't think it matters regardless. Glasket. We can take out their flyer. That buys us some time. As long as they don't draw adventure creatures. I suppose something to remove the Hollow Blade would also be lethal here. Okay. Stops our snowlands, and it's a flyer, which of course is a problem. Definitely play this out because it's a blocker which can gain us 1 life. And we keep attacking with the big one. Takes 5, sure. If we can remove the Innkeeper, we've got lethal. Or find another Alcide, would also do it. Another Alcide, we got him. Nice. Get protection from green, then protection from white. In that order, because if you get protection from white first, then you can't target it to get protection from green. But we do get 5 damage through their blockers there. Alright, 1 win to Mythic, take 3 on the play against Yorion. Decent hand. Can't ask for much better. And we find the land. Play the more aggressive creature here. Save the Professor for when we know what we want to learn for. And a Faceless Haven. What is this, my birthday? Well, let's do this pre-combat. Probably Extinction Event, right? Sweepers are bad for us. And means they're not going to affect the board until turn 4, which is very good for us. And even then, it's just to destroy the dog or play a cultivator. So we should be in a very good spot here. Two top though, can't be that good. Yep, there's the cultivate. See, if I power up Haven here, then they're at 4, right? 7 plus 4 is 11. So then even if they sweep the board, Haven is lethal. I think that's better than adding 2 damage with Maul or trying to do something with the Professor. Yeah, Cultivator's not going to do much. Unless they also have spot removal here. Alcide is a decent draw. So let's see, if they block the Haven and remove a 3/1, they're still taking 4. So we should be good either way. I don't think they can have anything that's better than block the Haven and remove a 3/1. We just need to not preemptively use our dog. Don't think they can win here. Unless they Erebos' intervention for 1. But then we can give protection with the Alcide. And they still take 4. So no, I don't think they have any outs here. Eliminate. Well, I'll just use the dog then. And yeah, they take 6. Good game. Or 7. Whatever works. On to game 2. Stick with the usual sideboarding plan against Sultai, Giant Killer, Archon in, Skyclave map, Regimen out, and send it. This hand is good. Got a Faceless Haven, got a Curve, can't ask for much more. As good as Chop Down usually is here, I don't think it's worth giving up a 1-drop. Legion Angel might also be good. Let's get the Aspirant cooking. I'll probably want to take the Legion Angel. I think that's our most dangerous creature. Though maybe they're not worried about that far ahead. they take the Hallowblade, it's probably Sky Maw this turn. If they don't, it's probably going to be the Hallowblade. Yep, Legion Angel as expected. Opponent doesn't realize that Valky holds priority indefinitely, even when you can't turn into the creature. There we go. Tapped land, no danger of removal. Scry to the top's not great. Alright, Spellbinder is better than all the Skyclaves, though. Do I put the counter on a Luminarch to start attacking with it? Let's look at their hand first. Well, that's going. And yeah, we'll put it on the Luminarch. Don't think we want to trade it for the Valky, though. Buys Yorion, forgets that they still have priority. There we go. I think we'll go for our Maul here. We're not under too much danger of getting blown out. And probably going to be using the Giant Killer to tap down the Yorion, so it doesn't need to get any bigger than it already is. Or no, they can Extinction Event here. But if they Extinction Event odds, then we're left with the Aspirant, which is good. If they Extinction Event even, which is what is suggested by them throwing away their Valky here, we're left with 6 power on board, which is also good. Either way, Plains or Faceless Haven off the top is lethal. If they play Yorion, just tapping it with Giant Killer is lethal. Will be Extinction Event. It does have to be odd. No, it doesn't, because that equips for 4. But it doesn't matter, because we find the land. Which means Faceless Haven will get us to Mythic. All in. Easy 2-0. Good game. Oh, there we go. Alright, what do we think of the list? Well, we just got to Mythic with 3 wins against Sultai, 2-0, and against Naya, also 2-0. Clearly the deck is playable. We lost to that mono white gamer who played 0 cards that we are not also playing. So that's mostly down to luck of the draw. This is a solid list. I like the balance that we have here. I like how the sideboard is set up as well. Wouldn't really change anything. I think the 3 learn cards is plenty. They're not really as strong as the core cards like Apparition, Aspirant, Spellbinder, but they are good to fill in the gaps, get you a little more closer to what you need. Sparring Regimen can be good if you're on the play and are attacking with it. It's just as good as a Luminarch Aspirant, but like we cut it against every Sultai match because they're just going to remove your creatures and then this card does nothing. But yeah, this overall did great. Never got to Legion Angel, but that's okay. It threatened that Valky enough in the last game. Main deck Magistrate is correct for this format. Everyone has some issue with it. I think the 1-drops are fine, the curve is good. 23 lands was enough. I have gotten some no-land hands playing this list, but overall it's been fine. Those will just happen. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.